Holy War, week 20. It's Sunday, May 17th. I'm going to a different church every week this year. 52 weeks, 52 different churches, religious organizations, spiritual gatherings, and then rating each on based on an arbitrary rubric created by ChatGPT. Everywhere I go gets a grade out of 60 points. Today I went to the Kingdom Hall. Today I visited with Jehovah's Witnesses. I had no idea what to expect, and yet it was everything that I expected it to be. I got there, and initially I thought that um, when I tried to enter one side of the building, the gate was locked. There's a fence all the way around this place, and there's no windows. If anyone knows why um, Jehovah's Witnesses don't have windows on the buildings, I'm curious to know. Like there wasn't anything too too crazy going on in there, so I'm curious why the no windows. So for number one, meaning and message, I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10. That doesn't mean I agree with any or all of what was said. It just means that the service offered an interpretation of existence, purpose, worldview, clarity, direction, or insight into the human condition. So at the Kingdom Hall, they are very direct, and it's very black and white in terms of what they believe and how they see their worldview. Now, for number two, ritual and the experience flow. I'm going to rate that a 7 out of 10. The way the format works is there was like an opening song, and then a guy gave a talk for about 20 minutes or so. And then they have like an open kind of group discussion that's almost lecture style for like another hour and a half, where one guy is at the front of the room going through the Watchtower book, mingling in verses from the Bible in there, and then asking questions to the congregation. And then anyone who wants to answer can raise their hand. And then they have like two volunteers who come around with a microphone, and then one for either side of the room. And then you can raise your hand. You get called upon to answer the question, and then you're given the mic, and then you offer your contribution. You say your answer. The questions were often asked in a way that led to answers that aligned with their world view. Nobody offered any open minded discussion, or there was no discourse. Every question and every answer created a very tight feedback loop where they just confirmed their own beliefs. So there's zero room for curiosity. There's zero room for uh, any alternative interpretation or spiritual discovery. This is the way things are, and the way things are is this. For number three, ethics and integrity, a 6 out of 10 there. And here's why. So in the talk, let me find my notes here. The title of the talk was "You Can Have Peace Now and Forever." And so the gentleman giving the talk mentioned the word peace 42 times in his 20 minutes. But he also mentioned war, conflict, genocide, slaughter, riot 18 times. And he said things like all over the world, people are stressed. For most people in the world, they experience very little peace. He said most people in the world experience very little peace. Why? Because peace has been removed from the earth. I thought that was really interesting. Um, I don't know if peace has been removed from the earth. And there was a very interesting sense of calling to attention all of the war and all of the conflict happening in the world right now, and how anyone who is not one of Jehovah's Witnesses basically does not have or can't have peace. And that is the reason why there's all of this war and genocide and conflict in the world. So I thought it was interesting, and it almost felt like they were calling attention to all of this conflict just as much as trying to promote a message of peace. So there was something uh it seemed counterintuitive to talk about war and conflict so prevalently when the message was about peace. I don't know, maybe someone can enlighten me on that. For number 4, community, energy, and belonging, I'm also going to say a 7 out of 10. A couple gentlemen introduced themselves to me. One asked if he could send me the Watchtower lesson for the day. I said sure, so I gave him my phone number and he texted it to me, and I followed along on my phone with the lesson, with the hour and a half long group classroom lecture discussion. Um, and then as I was leaving, one of the gentlemen who introduced himself when I entered the building uh, was kind of questioning me in a way. Uh, it, it wasn't like an interrogation, um, but he was standing next to a TV monitor, and on the monitor were um, views of cameras that were outside of the building. So it was really interesting that this was it felt like a compound with the black iron fence and cameras everywhere. For number 5, learning and cognitive expansion, a 5 out of 10. Um, it didn't seem like a place where learning and cognitive expansion is allowed or encouraged. It was more like these are the rules. This is how things are set up, and this is just the way that it is. Lastly, for heart resonance and emotional impact, a 4 out of 10. It didn't feel very friendly. It didn't feel very friendly, you guys. Like there are fences and cameras and no windows. Why? Why? Why do that? Total score for the Jehovah's Witnesses, 39 out of 60. Here's how that experience ranks compared to the first 19 weeks. So we're at week 20, coming up to halfway through the year. I'm just one guy. These are just my opinions, one experience per church per week. So don't believe anything I say. Uh, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a guy. May you be filled with love and kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be strong.